Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have your weekly bonus replay video. Today we have a Georgia for your viewing pleasure, the Tier 9 Premium American Battleship. One of the best ships in the game, hands down in my humble opinion. A ship that is sadly not available anymore. You can still potentially pick her up in Santa containers if those are still available when this video goes live. But what is an Georgia? The Georgia is pretty much a proto-Iowa design, and in many ways it's similar to the Iowa. You know, it's a fast Tier 9 battleship. It's got kind of the same hull profile, but the hull's a little bit different. It's got some wonky angles to it, which means even though it does have 32mm extremities, it does still eat some pretty weird pins at times, I find. But the biggest difference is that, of course, you can see she has 6 457mm 18-inch guns instead of the 9 16-inch guns you can find on the Iowa, the Missouri, and the Wisconsin in-game. On top of that, she has the improved American secondaries with the improved accuracy and reload time, meaning that this is a very viable secondary American battleship on top of having these 6 18-inch guns. Looks like our driver today, Ivan, might have a bit of a hybrid build on his Georgia given the accuracy of those guns. 9,923 damage off of that gear. So the Georgia, and what I run on my Georgia 2 is a hybrid build, because she can slot the American Improved Plotting Room Mod 2 in that last slot, giving her the 11% buff to her Dispersion. And I'll do that instead of running the reload mod for the secondary guns because of these lovely American 18-inch guns. She gets the American Super Heavy AP on these 18-inch guns, which means you are hurting bigly when you get hit with these guns. She also, of course, gets the speed boost as well, as I'm sure many of you are aware, which means that this is a battleship that can get up and run at around 40-ish knots, depending upon what build you're running with it, especially if you take something like Brisk on top of the speed flag and or running the engine boost. The joke is the destroyers are fast, but Georgia is faster, because there are more than a few Tier 10 destroyers, Tier 10 and Tier 9 destroyers that the Georgia can run down. Especially considering she can see, all the way down to Tier 7 destroyers, given that she is a Tier 9 battleship. So, yeah, back in the day when we had the original American secondaries, where the secondaries were literally laser pointers, yeah, it was not too much fun being a destroyer back in that time. But Ivan has gone to the sea flank. The match is, surprisingly, we're approaching the 4-minute mark. Nobody's dead yet. That's not how matches typically go, especially if you're watching last Friday night's live stream. That was fun. 3.5 hours of blow-up matches. It does appear, though, that the enemy team just secured the C cap, and they are getting the B cap right now. Oh, points are reversed for reasons. Replay bug being the main one. The enemy team's points are actually the friendly team's points. The friendly team's points are actually the enemy team's points. Z23 spotted 9.2 kilometers away. Secondaries are opening up. Doesn't look like Ivan has selected him with his secondaries just yet. He might actually be full main battery build on his Georgia, which would make sense given the loveliness of these guns. There we go. He gets a first blood there on that Z23. I'm going to assume he's a main battery build Georgia, main battery tank. That would make the most sense. That is a good decision to make on the Georgia. You can run a main battery, secondary, or hybrid. But the kid gets taken out in exchange for the Z23. But yeah, main battery build makes a ton of sense. Very fast battleship. Again, 6 18-inch guns with the American Super Heavy AP, full tilt into them. The building to the tankiness of the Georgia makes 125% sense here. Takes a shot at that broadside. Was that broadside Iowa? From, was that 16 kilometers away? This might be a good hit, and 3 pins, pretty solid. There's an Ipiranga from 15 kilometers out. Fortunately, the Italian destroyer, the Tarigo, is moving up into the sea cap to help out on the, that is a beautiful side profile of the Ipiranga. If you can get his rear turret into that, oh yeah, give it to him. So, Ipiranga's fairly tough, but, 6 18-inch shells, there's only so much you can do about that. And ooh, there we go. Citadels. That was what, 20-something K, 25K, 23K off of the Iparanga. Beautifully, beautifully done. Man, you got a lot of weight over here. You got the Hizen, the Iowa, the Iparanga. There's a Jarlsveld. I would go for him. Yeah, there we go. Ivan has picked him up. Let's see. He's going reverse. Gives him a little bit of a lead there on the stern. The Spurgeon looks pretty good. Please Dev Strike him. This would be so funny. Ooh, double Citadel. Nice, nice shot. It's up to 100K already. Not even 6 minutes into the match. Again, God, you gotta love these guns. And of course, these are the guns that the Ohio gets. And given the fact that the Ohio gets another turret of these lovely 18-inch American guns, that is wonderful. Even though he's doing well over here, oh my God, that is a beautiful side. Even though he's doing well over here, and the team is doing pretty good over here, out west things are not going so well. A and B cap have fallen. The friendly team is behind in kills at the moment. Fortunately, the Iparanga taps the brakes there. He only gets a couple of good pins off the stern and knocks out one of his turrets. If he kept going back, he probably would have got another Citadel off the Iparanga. So the enemy team, they got the A and B cap. The Cossack is contesting the A cap at this moment, but the enemy team does have the points lead at the moment, and they do have the ships lead as well. God, that Jarlsveld, if you can just get a little glimpse at him, that guy's got to be on like 5,000, 6,000 HP. Not sure if the Jarlsveld comes with a heal, but if it doesn't, he's not doing so hot. There's the Iowa and the Iparanga. Iparanga again showing broadside to Ivan. I think he's being distracted by the Missouri running up the side of the sea flank. Which, I mean, granted, he's got to choose to go bow into the Missouri or bow into Ivan here, so, you know, he's got to show somebody a little bit of ankle. Shots were a little bit short, but still managed to get a nice 11K hit off of the Iparanga. You have an Iowa that's bound to the cap at this moment. There's a Jarlsveld. Yeah, down to 10K HP. Come on, 5 seconds. You got it. You got it. Oh, he goes undetected. And long enough, too, for him to lose the lock. That is big sad. All right. Here's the Iowa, though. I don't know what the Iowa's doing. I guess he's pushing forward to get shots on the Missouri. All right, gives him the full broadside. I think only the front two turrets are going to get through. Yeah, unfortunately, only gets a hit on the torpedo protection. The friendly team is now down 5 ships to the enemy team's 3 ships at the moment. This is not looking too hot, and the enemy has captured the sea cap. So, okay, there we go. So he does have a secondary build on the... Yeah, he's probably a hybrid build. Given how well his main battery guns are behaving right now, he's got to have the Plotting Room Mod 2 module in his last mod slot, and then he's got the secondary skills and modules. Oh, come on, there we go! Lovely. That's the second kill of the match. We're down 1 funny Dutch cruiser. Iowa from 1.5 kilometers away. This should be a pretty good shot into the Citadel. And again... They're kind of catching up on points, on kills right now, but they're still behind in points. They are over 200 and almost about to be 250 points behind now. Good profile in Iowa. Not enough for Citadel, though, but enough for 7,700 damage. Okay, shots coming in from, I'm guessing that's the Hizen. Yeah, that's the Hizen all the way in the back with Yamamoto and his tracers. Enemy team has control of all caps at the moment, although they are losing the A cap. They are still gaining points every tick. They're gaining points because they have 2 caps versus the enemy team, versus the friendly teams, well, no caps. Johan de Witt managed to pick up the Iowa. So out west, the friendly teams managed to pick up some steam. They're pushing forward. We're seeing the opposite of what normally happen right now. The friendly team is, in fact, getting their acts together instead of falling apart like so often does happen. A pretty rare feat nowadays. A gear from 11.7 kilometers away gives us some AP into the upper armor. A gear turns in. The 457s can't overmatch the Agir's armor like that. Nice 11K hit on the Agir there. Agir does have torpedoes, though, so we do have to be mindful about that. But they are the German torpedoes, so if you do sneeze on them with a little bit of HE, they will simply explode. So, got the Agir. The Hizen still somewhere back there. And then you got the Iparanga to worry about. The Iparanga secondaries can reach over here if he does use his funny button. But I think the Iparanga is distracted by the Lenin pushing into him. Alright, gives him the forward 2 turrets. Again, shots high. Beautiful. Right to the upper armor belt. 10K on the Agir. Don't want to shoot Agir on the main armor belt. She is a thick girl. It will bounce off of her thighs. Like that. There we go. There's those Aegir torpedoes. He's managed to avoid those. One fire on his Georgia, but he has returned the favor to the Aegir. I think he popped damage con already for an earlier fire, so that might be a dead Aegir right then and there. But the Hizen has shown up to play. There we go. Excellent. Ivan burns down the Aegir. And he has a Hizen in front of him, 8.5 kilometers away. And, we have found the Parzival all the way in the back of the map. So the friendly team's starting to get their act together. They're continuing to get their act together, but they're still behind in terms of points. Ivan here is capping the sea cap along with his friendly Johann David, who's providing him with the occasional airstrike on this. He has Confederate and high caliber already, boys and girls. And we are only a mere 11 minutes into the match. Has that juicy superstructure for his AP to bite into here along the secondary guns. No, he still gets most of them on target. That was, about 10-ish thousand damage to that Hizen. If he can avoid these shells, he can get the cap. On the last tick to get the cap. Sadly, the shells reach him. But he should be able to get it this time at least. Oh, nope. The Musashi from across the map had something to say about that. 4-2 turrets on the Hizen. And another 8k off the Hizen. There he goes. Gets the assistant cap ribbon on the sea caps. Up to 215,000 damage so far. Getting his bow face toward the Hizen to see. That's what I'm talking about. Like, even steeply angled, he still gets those weird bites on the George's armor scheme. Ooh, and the Musashi's paying attention to him as well. Epiranga takes down the Lynx, so just as the friendly team is gaining traction, they lose another ship. They are still down by over 200 and something points. They will lose this match unless they can mop up the rest of the enemy team, or unless they can keep these two caps for the remainder of the match. There's still a Musashi left alive on the enemy side, although the Yorktown did just take out the Epiranga. That's good, but the friendly team has a Musashi too. There goes his turret yet again, so he's down to just 2 guns in the front. 18k left on this Hizen. He's in a bit of a slugfest with the Hizen and the Musashi here. The problem is he has a far worse armor scheme than the other two. Again, look, Balwan's doing 4k damage. I think that might have been because of his superstructure, but again, still from like the bow, the way that the bow tapers into the rest of the hull. I think you can kind of get some purchase there if you have big enough guns, or good enough AP, I should say. Oof. That them pins from the Musashi just took him down to 14k HP in front of a Hizen and of course the Musashi back there. That's it's gonna be Hizen has discovered the HE, and there he goes, now down to 9,000 HP. 9 seconds left on his heal, 1 second left on his damage con. 996 HP left on this Georgia. Pops his damage con. 1 second left on his heal. Pops his heal, down to 390 HP because of the Hizen secondaries. Manages to survive for that moment. Parzival's coming in though, so he has to either dodge the Parzival torpedoes or shows broadside to the Musashi. Oh, he doesn't have much of a choice. Ooh, Musashi misses. Only tags him with 1 shell. Gets 4-2 guns out on the Musashi. Still eats a torpedo, down to 3,400 HP. Getting every single ounce out of that improved American battleship heal. And beautifully done. Manages to smite the Musashi for the rest of his HP. My God, we have somehow managed to find a replay of someone surviving on less HP than the Hindenburg that survived on a mere 400 HP on Friday's replay video. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing left to do is visit the enemy aircraft carrier, the Parzival, and, well, Ivan knows just where he's at. There he is right there, 20 kilometers out, reversed into the border. He does have his AP rockets coming over here. Imagine he's probably going to go for Ivan, since Ivan is at a mere 7,300 HP at the moment. He is. All right, forward guns out on the Parzival, though, focusing his AA on the Parzival's rocket planes. Let's see what he can do. His heal has just come off the cooldown. He has used it already. Nice shot on the Parzival, 13k there. And, yeah, no problem there. Managed to angle him plenty enough time to those AP rockets. He's 1 kill away from a Kraken. Can he get it there before the Yorktown, the Kazakh, or the Johann David yoinks the parts? Look at the dispersion on those shells. My God, that's beautiful. And it gets there just in time. Gets his 5th kill and his Kraken. 261,000 damage in a comeback victory. That was pretty enjoyable. 2 million credits. My God. 261,000 damage. 73 shell hits. 5 kills. Confederate. Dreadnought. Well-deserved Dreadnought. Kraken Unleashed. First Blood. And high caliber. 4 Citadels, too. Let's see where he came out on the team. What's his base XP? 2,700 base XP in a Tier 9 game. That was a lovely showing of the Georgia. And, man, you know, Georgia is just so good. Sadly, she's a little bit too good, so that's why she has been removed from the game. If you manage to pick her up in a Santa container, if they offer her at like the auction or anything, she's a ship that's pretty darn well worth it, you know, short of, you know, dropping several $100s on the game. But, you know, if she's like at a coal auction, or you pick up in a super container or a Santa container or whatever container, you have definitely won the lottery for the year. 217 secondary hits as well. How much damage did his secondary shells do? Only 21,000 damage plus the 9,000 from the fire, so 30,000 damage. So yeah, most of this was his aim with those lovely American 18-inch guns. So Ivan, thank you so much for sending in that match. It was indeed a good one. Always nice to get a good Georgia replay on the channel. So hope you guys enjoyed and have a wonderful Sunday and wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.